Ladies, gentlemen, everything in between, welcome back to Midnight Oil Motorsports. Finally have a name, finally figured one out. That's cool. Today, we're taking a break here. I'm working on the quarter panel. Last time we left off, we were working on this, welded everything on. I put a little paint on it to protect the welds, because it's been a little bit since I've worked on this, but here we are. Relatively close to finished product. We're changing our attention here. We are working on our hood. For those of you keen viewers who have watched my first couple videos, saw this hood in the background hanging up there, and that hood on the car. Swapped those because this hood's aluminum, the original hood that came with the car. This is also the original color of the car, which is blue. That was black and also steel. So this hood is much lighter, and I couldn't afford an aluminum hood when I did the body work, 6-7 years ago. So here we are doing this. Why am I doing this? Well, as you can see, I've already cut holes for hood vents. Next thing I'm gonna cut holes for is aero catches. We're gonna do a tutorial on how to put those in today. So let me open up the kit and we'll see what we got with it. All right, here's what we got included with the kit here. We've got the aero catches themselves. Very nice, high quality piece. We have the backing plates for them. We have an assortment of fasteners that are meant for mounting the aero catches themselves to the hood. These go in here. They're nice and recessed in there, so they're nice and flush mount, so they're not catching any air. Then we have washers and nuts for the back that go behind the backing plate. Then from there we have the hood pins. Hood pins have these rubber stops to them. We'll see why those are important in a minute here. And we have 2 nuts for each one and 2 washers for each one in case the holes are a little too big for wherever they are. So with that out of the way, let's grab our sippy cup here full of definitely water for YouTube purposes and start working. So since I've aligned the hood from taking it on and off a couple times, and normally with the normal car we wouldn't need to do this, but since we're going to use these aero catches instead of a stock latch, we're going to end up taking this latch out. Now, it'd be real easy to remove the bumper here because I have already made a quick release and undid it about 3 dozen times by now. But we need to access the bolts for the latch here so that we can remove it. Alright, so before we take off our latch here, it looks like we have a airbag sensor here that is blocking one of the bolts. Whenever you're dealing with airbags and airbag sensors, always make sure to unplug your battery. If you don't, what's going to happen is the jarring from the impact is going to jar the sensor, which is going to make your airbags go off. Luckily in this car, I already don't have airbags, so I can actually take out the airbag sensors. I just haven't yet. Yeah, so from there, we just take these off. And then, quick tip here, if you ever don't know where bolts go, to remind yourself later in life, just thread them back in the holes. I'm sure we've heard that before from other YouTube channels. Onto the latch here. We've got 3 different bolts here, and there's also another bolt that's actually on the back of the impact bar. I'll get you back there. Maybe you'll be able to see it or not. I don't know. We'll see. Some of these bolts are scaring me. I hope none of them break. That one didn't scare me. Okay, we do need to take off the other one. I will show you where that is in a second. All right, this might be a little jarring here, but I'm gonna move real slowly so that nobody gets motion sickness here. But if we follow this bracket down, right at the base of the impact bar there, you can see that bolt off on the left-hand corner of the screen. That's what we're gonna be taking out here. All right, so remember I said there was one bolt? Well, there's actually two. Get that out of the way. We just have this dangle for right now. Now I will end up taking this out eventually here, but what I'm gonna end up doing is just having it dangle for right now, just for it to be out of the way. What's cool about this is that you could use the Aerocatches with the stock hood release in place, but it's lighter to not have it, and with all the places I race with, you only need two separate latching mechanisms, which the two separate latching mechanisms are the one on the left and one on the right. So yeah, it pays for itself. Well, I shouldn't say it pays for itself. What the heck? Anyways, it's lighter. They're plastic. This is metal. This is old. This is clunky. The cable's getting stretched anyways, so let's just get rid of it. Alrighty, so next step is to figure out where to put the hood pins. Best place to put those on a Miata is going to be in one of the two pairs of where your hood bumpers are. Now what these do is they actually are what keeps your hood in the right position instead of just resting in the latch. So there's always a friction of these pushing up and then the latch actually pushing down on the hood. I like the way they look here better. I know that when I end up moving intercooler piping to go over the top of the radiator instead of underneath and through the sides like how I have it now, it might cause some problems, but I like the way it looks better, and for me it'll be more functional because the hood could end up flopping around some if I have them over here. Man, that wind is real bad. So the way these come out, you could either unscrew them a whole bunch, because when they unscrew they actually move up and down. You might be doing that for a while because sometimes there's stops at the end of them and you won't be able to get them out anyways. The other way is using a pry tool, just like this one. Wire grip one might be more ideal. Just get underneath these real lightly, wiggle it around, pull up, then you got these. I did screw that one up a little bit, and this is also, 30 some odd years old at this point, so that's all right. Doesn't bother me too much. Same thing the other one. Wiggle underneath it. Oop. And this one completely broke. Now I guess keep that in mind if you ever wanted to not reuse these, but I guess go back to stock, you're gonna have to get new bumpers, especially with these older cars, because this is a 91. It's one of the first years of the NA, and it's very high mileage. It's at 225,000 miles now. These will end up breaking because they're brittle and plastic and old, but just some food for thought. Most people won't really consider that because at this point this is going to be a race car. I'm cutting holes in the hood. It is what it is. All right, I'm gonna grab those hood pins and throw them in. All right, hood pins are in. Just temporarily here, they're a little loose. That's okay. We're doing this because we need to be able to mark on the hood where these hood pins go, right? So in order to do that, first we need to, after a little bit of trial and error, adjust the hood so it's just barely open, right? Just like as if when you pop the hood on your car originally, I would just come up just a little bit. We want it to be about that high. If these are too high when we mark it, the holes are going to be off, and then we're going to have a mess to clean up on our hands, right? So we have the hood just barely open. It's maybe open about an inch or so. And what we're going to do, we're going to take, let me go and grab some. All right, so you can take any sort of grease or paint or really anything that will leave a mark once you tap this onto here. Some people, like I already said, grease or paint. Use whatever you want. Honestly, what I've also seen, and I don't recommend this, but some people do, is they will take the hood and they will slam it down on the hood pins, and it'll create 2 little divots on where to drill. Now, like I said, I don't recommend it. Other people might, but it's up to you. I'm gonna take some anti-sneeze here. Everyone knows that when you're touching this stuff, I haven't even opened the bottle yet. I've already got some on my fingers. It's gonna get everywhere, right? So if I put a little bit on here, I know for a fact it's gonna get on the hood here. So not too hard here. You know, it does a little bit. Oh, there's a lot of goop in there. Oh, the smell of this. Oh, God bless it. Oh, I don't really want to use this, do I? Okay, there we go. Just put a dab will do you, all right? Just a dab. Dab will do you. Okay. Oh boy. I'm already not unscathed here. I already have anti-sneeze on my hands. That's great. Put down our hood here. Nothing too difficult there. Press down if you have to. I don't. Or from there, I'll grab the camera here for a second. Hopefully not get any C's on it. See, we have 2. There's 1. And there's 2. 2 perfect hood marks. There are 2 marks on the hood on where we need to drill. So let's do that. Alright, you can see just the hood pin sticking out just a little bit. I thought I was recording a normal video. I recorded a time lapse, so whoops, that happened. Anyways, long story short there, when you're marking these, what you gotta do is you gotta eyeball your hood pin right in this little square, because that's obviously where this is gonna latch into. And you want to mark on the inside of this radius. In fact, you can see all the white where I marked. And you don't want to mark on the inside, because if you mark on the outside of this, you'll have nowhere to bolt this to, and then you'll be sad because the hole's too big. Then you gotta get a new hood because it's aluminum, and I can't weld aluminum because I don't have a TIG welder, and that would not really go well anyways because this would warp. Anyways, I eyeballed it. I'm using it this way. The reason why I'm using it that way is because what I'm thinking is when I come up to the front of the car, the way I unlock this, right, is going to be pushing this down and going up like that. Now, you can mount it in whatever direction you want here, you know, left, right, up, down, that way, whatever you want. Doesn't bother me. You can go sideways if you want to be weird, I don't know. But I like to have it as far forward as I possibly can, because this is where most of the force is going to come from. The further back that I go, the more force it's going to try to lift up on the hood as I'm doing this. So, yep. Again, real quick, I'm going to line up with that hole, the bigger hole in the middle there, because that's where your hood pin's going to go. Eyeball it, round it out, and yeah, let's get to cutting. after that very loud process, we have the hood cut. And then if I direct your attention here to the bottom of the hood, we have the bottom of the hood cut. Now what we really want to make sure here is that this piece can sit flat up against the first layer of metal here. And as you can see, we are pretty close. Actually right about there. So we got it to where this sits flush on the first layer of metal. And then when we put the hood down here, obviously I'm not bolting this into place right now, like I said, again, because I'm gonna put these in when the car is painted. We got our actual latch here. We have to back down here again. Our latch in here, top of our hood pin. There's a little bit of play in this hole. There's not much play. There's not much play in this hole at all. There's more play than I thought. There's not too much play in this hole. But you can see that all of our holes still have metal behind them. So that when we put that plate in there, we can end up just kind of bolting it through the metal in the hood. But see, that's on there. That's good. Now the hood pin needs to be raised just a little bit so we're even with the headlight, but that's good there. Okay. So the cool part about this is that this process of cutting all the holes and everything, and obviously I've screwed up a little bit there, takes a long time. And now I gotta do it another time. I've learned from this one, obviously, because I didn't know that this hole, or that plate had to sit flush. I thought it had to sit up against the bottom of here, but then with all the waviness in the hood supports and everything, I haven't moved you yet because I am still new to this. With all the hood or with all the structure of the hood and everything, it's more difficult to have that lay flat, and it's only designed to be on the one layer of the hood, so that's how I'm gonna mount it. Yeah, so I mean, I could continue the video here and show you how to do it on the other side and everything else, but it's literally the same process. So what's the point of showing you that, right? So I can continue this video here and show you the finished product. I'm probably just gonna put it at the end, just the finished product, what it looks like. Like I said, all I gotta do is drill the holes and then bolt it in, but I'm not bolting in right now because I'm painting this whole car, so what's the point of bolting everything together? Just take it apart immediately afterwards. But hey, you know what? Some people want to see it, so I will probably cut to the end after this with maybe just some grinding clips. I don't know, not that kind of grinding. Get your mind out of the gutter. But yeah, so I guess let's continue working. But actually, I might do it tomorrow when I think about it. We're gonna do it tomorrow. See you guys not in the morning, in the afternoon tomorrow, because I have a full-time job. All right, it's the next day. Just got home from work not too long ago, and ready to get to work. Realized I never showed you the finished product. This is the underside here. Underside side is a bigger hole because we got to fit that plate in there, and needs to sit flush up against here. And yeah, let's go. Let's get this other side done. We got our sippy cup refilled here, and ready to go. Let's make a montage or something. I don't know. other side's done. Got it in there. We've got it latched onto our pin right now. I took some measurements with my fingers. Tape measures were accurate, but it's all the way over there. So, look pretty straight. Doesn't need to be perfect because it's not like these are a perfect shape, so they are fairly accurate. So the way that it wants you to do it is it wants you to use the back of the back plate as a template in case you mar it. I'm not going to do that because even if you mar this hole up a little bit, you're not going to see it because they're countersunk, and you're going to end up putting a bolt over it anyway. So really the way that I like to do this is the same way I actually did it with my vents that are a little further up that you can't see. Just kind of take your drill bit, stick it in the hole, hold the hood a little bit, and just touch off. Touch off all these holes. Oops, it is. Then from there, you can take this sucker off. You have a perfect template here to drill all your holes. I got a little close with that one, so I have to make that one work, but yeah, you get the idea. Alright, so we got our arrow catches in and the hood temporarily here. The last step we want to do here is the bumpers. Now if we just shove the bumper on here, good luck getting that off. We can see it is way too long. And they're just rubber, so all you gotta do is cut them. You're gonna wanna cut them, bring over the other one here. You're gonna wanna cut them so that the bumper is just a little bit below. Ooh, let me get you a little closer, a little bit closer. Just a little bit below this line. Because you can actually see on here a little bit. Maybe you can't, but I can. From me taking the hood up and down and on and off, you can see a line where as far down as the arrow catches go. And we want the bumper to be just beneath that. We want to squish in between this nut down here. There's a line about, in my application, about this far up here. So from there, I can just take this, use a paint pen, mark it, cut it, and shove it on there with a little bit of white lithium grease. So I will do that here momentarily. Before you cut these though, just be sure your hood is the right height where you want it over here. Mine's a little low, so I'm going to adjust it a little bit before I cut these. So all right, let's get to it. Alright, so we have got the arrow catches installed on the hood, kind of. Don't have them bolted down because I don't really need to right now because they're just going to come right off anyways. But hey, you know what? We've got our hood on. They do what they need to do. There's our bumpers, just a little bit below the line. That's kind of what we're aiming for there. So that when I set this down, I'm not trying to fight the vertical motion of the hood there. I can just kind of slap them down there and they do what they need to do. Just a light push and they're perfect. So the rubber was way thicker than I thought, so I ended up using the cutoff wheel over there in order to cut them. But other than that, yeah, pretty self-explanatory. Sorry this wasn't really like a tutorial video. It's more like a tips and tricks and how I did it. Of course, you're supposed to use a template of some kind, but I didn't because I didn't feel like it. And I felt like I could do it this way, and I did. And it came out pretty okay. Yeah, guess that's going to be it for this video. Don't know what we're doing next time, but stay tuned, I guess. If you like the video, give it a like. If you like me, subscribe. But hey, I'm Ian from the new and improved channel, Midnight Oil Motorsports. And yeah, hope you enjoy your night. Later.